My ex-wife divorced me, took the kids and the house. Years later, she asked me to co-sign a loan for her new husband's kids. Instead, I took her to court and got full custody. Hello, Reddit I plus here. Let me start by saying I'm not a vindictive person. I don't wake up thinking about revenge or karma or getting even. But sometimes, life throws you a pitch so slow and obvious that you'd be a fool not to swing. This all started over a decade ago. I was married to Rachel for 10 years. We had 2 kids, Jake and Emily. We were one of those high school sweetheart stories people always talk about. Got married in our early 20s, built a modest life together. I worked in IT support while Rachel stayed home with the kids. It wasn't extravagant, but it was stable, or so I thought. Around year 7, I noticed changes. She started going to the gym constantly, dressing differently, becoming secretive with her phone. I chalked it up to her just finding herself after years of being a stay-at-home mom. I was tired from work, stressed, and probably a little emotionally unavailable at the time. I didn't push back. I figured she just needed space. One night, she came home late, again, and told me she wanted a divorce. Just like that. No warning, no, let's talk, no, can we fix this? Just a manila envelope and a stone-cold face. Turns out she'd been seeing someone else. Mike. A guy from her gym. Recently divorced, sleazy charm, real estate license he never used. I found out later they'd been having an affair for at least a year before she even brought up the divorce. She lawyered up hard, painted me as an absent, workaholic dad. And because I didn't have money for a strong attorney or the willpower to fight her in court, I lost everything. She got the house. She got primary custody. I got to see the kids on weekends and pay child support like clockwork. Every other weekend and 2 weeks in the summer. It was humiliating. She moved Mike into my house less than 6 months later. They started posting family photos on Facebook, like we never existed. My son called him Dad by mistake once during a handoff. I didn't even cry. I just sat in my car for 30 minutes after and stared at the dashboard. I went through hell, to put it simply. Depression, loneliness. I couldn't afford therapy for a while, so I drank and worked and cried until I could. Eventually, I pulled myself up. Got a promotion, rented a better place, built a new relationship with my kids, slowly, through time and consistency. Fast forward to 5 years later. Out of nowhere, Rachel calls me. We haven't had a real conversation in years. At first, I thought something happened to the kids, but no. She says she needs a favor. Her words exactly. Mike's trying to get a private student loan for his boys. You know, his twins from his last marriage. They need a co-signer, and you have good credit. I swear I thought I was being pranked. She explained that Mike's credit was too bad to qualify. His ex-wife refused to help. She figured since we had a history and I was financially stable, I could help out. I asked her point blank, "You want me to co-sign a loan for Mike's kids?" She said yes, like it was totally reasonable. I told her I needed to think about it. What I actually did was make a few phone calls. A buddy of mine works in finance and ran a check on Mike. Turns out Mike had defaulted on multiple loans, had liens on a failed business, and his credit score was in the toilet. Then I started digging around about how things were going at home. Turns out, not great. My son had started acting out at school. My daughter had anxiety so bad, she was seeing a therapist. Mike was apparently a control freak, emotionally manipulative, dismissive, the kind of guy who made everything about him. My kids never told me because they didn't want to start drama. Rachel never told me because God forbid she admit she'd made a massive mistake. So now she wanted me to risk my credit for this guy? Nah, I called my lawyer instead. We compiled everything. Evidence of emotional neglect, therapy records for my daughter, school reports and behavioral changes in my son, missed medical appointments, my own consistent financial and parental track record, statements from teachers and family friends. Then we filed for full custody. Rachel lost it. She accused me of blindsiding her, of using the kids to get back at her. She fought it, but not with facts, just emotion, manipulation, and denial. The court saw through it. The judge reviewed everything, including written statements from both of our kids, who, at 12 and 14, were old enough to share their feelings. The final hearing was tense. Rachel tried to cry on the stand. Mike didn't even show up. But I'll never forget what the judge said before giving the verdict. It's clear that the father has provided a more stable, consistent, and emotionally safe environment for the children. Full custody granted to the father. Rachel sobbed. I didn't feel victorious. I felt like I could finally breathe. As we left the courthouse, she walked up to me and said, "I didn't think you'd actually do this." And I replied, "That's your problem. You still think I'm the same man who let you walk all over him. Now the kids live with me full time. We have routines, stability, peace, therapy is ongoing, but they're healing. We're healing. As for the loan, she found another cosigner apparently, probably her dad. But what she lost? You can't put that on paper. I didn't just get full custody. I got my life back, and my kids got me back. When the court handed me full custody, I thought the hard part was over. It wasn't. I had been a weekend dad for so long, I forgot what weekday chaos felt like. School drop-offs, lunches, doctor appointments, sports practice, parent-teacher meetings, it hit like a tidal wave. I had to relearn how to be present in a way that went beyond 2-day visits. Jake, 14, was standoffish at first, not because he didn't want to be here, because he didn't know how to trust it. He was used to getting packed up and moved around like luggage, so when I told him this was permanent, he looked skeptical, like it would be taken away again. Emily, 12, clung to me for the first week like a shadow. She cried herself to sleep 2 nights in a row, not because she missed her mom, because she was scared Rachel would get mad if she knew she was too happy here. That wrecked me. I got them both into therapy immediately. The first few sessions were awkward. Jake would barely speak, and Emily kept asking the therapist if her mom would get in trouble if she said too much. By month 2, things started to shift. Jake finally admitted Mike used to call him a disappointment during arguments and would punish him by taking away meals, not physical abuse, but emotional and petty power plays that left deep marks. Emily admitted she felt like a burden in her mom's house, constantly being told to go play quietly while Rachel and Mike handled adult stuff. They're still in therapy, and I go too, every week, because I need help unpacking my own guilt. For not fighting harder earlier, for letting years pass before I stepped up like this. This part made my blood boil. After the court ruling, Rachel started telling people I manipulated the kids into saying bad things about her. She even tried to get CPS involved, claiming I was turning them against her. CPS came, interviewed the kids, visited the home, left without incident. The case was closed in less than 2 weeks. What stung was realizing how low she'd stooped to maintain control, not for the sake of the kids, but to protect her image. Her parents, who once supported her blindly, reached out to me afterward. Her own mother told me, I don't know who she is anymore. Rachel gets bi-weekly visitation. The court made it clear, any alienation or manipulation and her time would be reduced. So far, she's been showing up. Mostly. But the vibe is different. The kids don't call her mommy anymore. They call her mom. Short, cold, detached. That's not from me. That's from them. They say she's still with Mike, but they don't sleep in the same room. Apparently, Mike's kids never even ended up going to college. The loans weren't approved, and the twins moved out, so the entire loan request drama? Pointless. She tried to casually bring that up during one of the drop-offs. I guess you were right not to co-sign, huh? She said with a nervous laugh. I didn't even respond. Last week, Jake brought home a math test with an A on it. First A he's had in 2 years. Emily asked me if I'd be okay chaperoning her middle school dance next semester. We started having Sunday pancakes. They fight over who gets to flip the first one. They're smiling more, laughing more, sleeping through the night. I'm not just their dad anymore. I'm their safe place. If you told me 5 years ago this would be my life, that I'd go from broken, weekend dad in a 1-bedroom apartment to this, I would have laughed or cried. I don't feel triumphant. I feel right, like something that was twisted and wrong for years finally snapped back into place. I'll never get back the years I lost, but I have today. I have my kids. I have peace, and that's worth more than anything Rachel ever took from me. Thanks again for listening, for supporting, and for reminding me I'm not alone.